This city is older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. It rose from the dust long before many of the ancient wonders we know. Here, in the vast, dry plains of southeastern Iran, lies a place that holds a secret, a story frozen in time. Its name in Persian is Shahr-e Sukhteh, which means, quite simply, the burnt city. It is a name that hints at a dramatic past, but it barely scratches the surface of the wonders held within its sun-baked earth. Why should we, in our busy modern world, turn our gaze to these quiet ruins? Because here, we find one of the most astonishingly well-preserved records of a sophisticated Bronze Age society, a civilization that flourished in glorious isolation, yet was connected to the far corners of the ancient world. The very ground here speaks of an immense age. To walk among its low, weathered mounds is to tread upon the compacted history of more than 1,000 years. Archaeologists who first began to uncover its secrets in the middle of the 20th century were met with a puzzle. How can we be so certain of this city's incredible age? The answer lies buried within the earth itself. The site of Shahr-e Sukhteh is not a flat ruin. It is a series of low hills, mounds, built up over centuries. These mounds are like a book. Each layer of soil is a page in the city's history. As archaeologists dig down, they travel back in time. They see distinct layers of occupation, separated by ash and by sand. This method, stratigraphy, provides a clear timeline. It shows people lived here. They built their homes. Then, after catastrophe, a new generation built on top of the old, preserving what lay beneath for us to find. But layers of dirt are only part of the story. For precise dates, scientists use radiocarbon dating. They analyze organic materials, fragments of charcoal, discarded animal bones, seeds from stored grain. From those samples, they measure carbon-14 decay. That gives a calendar stretching back thousands of years. The true wonder of the burnt city is not just its age, but the incredibly vivid picture it gives us of everyday life. The artifacts found here are not the treasures of kings or the monuments of emperors. They are the humble, intimate objects that belong to ordinary people. Archaeologists have unearthed the foundations of mud brick houses, complete with courtyards, and small rooms where families lived and worked. Inside these homes, they found simple pottery bowls, still holding the residue of ancient meals, and large jars used for storing water and grain. Near the homes, clay ovens were discovered, their sides blackened by the fires that baked bread for thousands of meals. The people of Shahr-e Sukhteh were masterful craftspeople. The sheer volume and variety of pottery discovered here is staggering. Thousands of vessels, from simple functional cups to large, elaborately painted jars. The patterns are often geometric, painted in dark pigments on buff or reddish backgrounds. But their skills went far beyond clay. They were skilled bead makers, patiently drilling tiny holes into stones, like carnelian and turquoise, and shaping shells from the distant coast into delicate ornaments. These small objects speak of a desire for beauty and a culture that valued personal adornment and artistic expression in daily life. Imagine a potter sitting in the cool of the morning, his hands covered in wet clay. He works at a simple wheel, focused on the vessel taking shape before him. The form rises, smooth and elegant, guided by a skill passed down through generations. He is not just making a pot. He is creating a tool for his family, an object for trade, a small piece of beauty that will be used for cooking, for drinking, or for storage. This scene is not fantasy. Workshops filled with pottery kilns were found, along with tools and unfired clay. These finds transform the ruins into a place where we can almost hear the hum of industry and human effort. The city reveals a society with time for more than just work and survival. Among the most charming discoveries are toys. Small wheeled carts, likely pulled by a string, a child might have played with in a dusty courtyard. They found miniature animal figurines and even a complex board game, complete with dice and playing pieces. These finds are profoundly humanizing. They show us that the people of the burnt city were not so different from us. They worked, they ate, they raised families, they adorned themselves, and they found time for joy and play, leaving behind these small but powerful echoes of their shared humanity. Among the tens of thousands of artifacts unearthed from the burnt city, one discovery stands apart, a find so personal and astonishing it captivated the world. In a grave dated c. 2900 BCE, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a woman, tall for her time, buried with an object nestled in her left eye socket. It was the world's earliest known artificial eyeball. The object is a hemisphere made from a very lightweight bitumen paste. Its surface is exquisitely detailed. Fine engraved lines radiate from a central circle to form an iris, proof of an artist's steady hand and keen eye. This prosthesis was not merely a decorative plug. 2 tiny holes were drilled on either side, threaded with the finest gold wire, designed to hold it and let it move with her healthy eye. Microscopic wear on the surface shows she wore it for a significant time. This is more than advanced craftsmanship. It's a testament to ancient medical thought and human compassion. Someone 4,800 plus years ago went to extraordinary lengths not just to fill a void, but to restore dignity and normalcy. The find forces us to rethink the limits of ancient technology and medicine. It shows a deep understanding of materials, mastery of microsculpting, and above all, a deeply empathetic impulse. The woman was not cast out. She was respected, buried with care, accompanied by fine pottery. The prosthetic was an act of care, meant to improve her life. Looking at this small, delicate object, we look into the soul of that civilization. It tells us more than 1,000 pots or tools ever could. The burnt city was not an isolated outpost. It was a bustling hub at the crossroads of several major ancient trade routes, connected to Mesopotamia to the west, linked to the resource-rich lands of Central Asia to the northeast, and to the maritime cultures of the Persian Gulf to the south. The city's workshops and marketplaces were filled with goods and raw materials. These goods had traveled hundreds, even thousands of miles. Trade was the lifeblood. It brought wealth, new ideas, and a cosmopolitan character. The most compelling proof comes from the materials themselves: lapis lazuli. The nearest source was the mountains of what is now Afghanistan, over 1,000 kilometers away. Archaeologists also found turquoise from Central Asia, and seashells that could only have come from the Persian Gulf or Arabian Sea. These materials weren't just stored, they were worked on site: beads, inlays, pendants. To manage trade, they developed administrative tools, hundreds of clay seals, stone seals as well. Each seal bears unique geometric motifs, or animal motifs. Seals were pressed into wet clay to mark ownership of goods. They sealed containers, and they authorized transactions. It was a system of accounting and control, essential for commerce. They were also pioneers in metallurgy: furnaces, crucibles, copper slag. They likely imported raw copper ore from the region of Baluchistan. They turned that ore into tools, weapons, and ornaments. Some of these goods were likely traded onward. The city was a producer and exporter. The name Shahr-e Sukhteh, the burnt city, is no exaggeration. Fire is a central character. The archaeological record shows at least 3 catastrophic fires: thick, dark layers of ash and charcoal, collapsed roofs, shattered pottery, abandoned tools. The cause remains a mystery: accidents, natural disasters, violent attacks. Yet the city rose again from its own ashes. Survivors did not abandon their home. They rebuilt with resilience. They leveled the charred ruins. They filled in the debris. They constructed new homes. They constructed workshops directly on old foundations. Those cycles created the distinct layers archaeologists study. Each rebuild preserved a snapshot of the previous demise, a time capsule sealed by fire and earth. Fires were sudden. People fled, leaving everything behind. Pots left on hearths, tools dropped in workshops, goods stored in warehouses, all frozen in their final positions. Ultimately, the cycle was broken. Around 1800 BCE, after 1,000 years, the city was abandoned for the last time. Reasons unclear. Nearby rivers dried up. Nearby lakes dried up. Trade routes changed. Perhaps the final fire was too devastating. Whatever the cause, people left. Desert winds slowly covered the ruins with sand, shrouding the burnt city in silence until rediscovery. The burnt city is more than just a collection of ancient ruins and fascinating artifacts. It is a profound chapter in the story of humanity. It matters because it reveals a complex, creative, compassionate society that thrived in a part of the world once considered a void on the map of ancient history. This site provides firm, tangible proof that the impulse to build cities, to create art, to trade with distant neighbors, and to care for one another. The people of Shahr-e Sukhteh were not a footnote. They were protagonists in their own right. Their legacy enriches our understanding of our collective past. We must resist the urge to see these people as distant or primitive. Instead, let us wonder. Imagine the child who laughed while pulling a small wooden cart through the dusty streets. Picture the artisan, her brow furrowed in concentration as she engraved the delicate lines on an artificial eye. Think of the trader, his face weathered by the sun, feeling the relief of arriving home after a long and dangerous journey. The work at the burnt city is far from over. Only a small fraction has been excavated. Preserving this fragile place is a duty we owe not only to the past, but also to the future. Long before our modern age, people possessed an extraordinary capacity for innovation, resilience, connection. The hands that shaped these pots and carved these seals were driven by the same creative spark that drives us today. As we look out over the quiet mounds of Shahr-e Sukhteh, we are reminded that history is not just about kings and empires, but about the enduring, everyday humanity of the people who came before us. Their story, written in dust, is now ours to cherish, to protect, to continue to learn from for all time.